Hey, podcaster, if you've got a million ideas burning inside and a deep desire to make an impact, but feel stuck, scattered, or like no one really gets what you do, this episode is your lifeline. Because without clarity, your podcast, your business, your offers, your everything, and your voice is going to get lost in all the noise. And let me tell you, I know this firsthand. But once you look at your why, your who, and what makes you unforgettable, that's where everything starts to click into place. Let's cut through all the fog and reconnect you to the bold, aligned path that you were born to lead, because you're here to make some magic. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome to Beyond the Downloads, the show that dives deeper than stats and charts to reveal the real impact of your podcast. I'm Jennifer Dragonette, founder of the Bold Action Collective, where we believe that bold moves truly spark transformation. Each week, we explore how your unique story, passion, and purpose can create powerful connections that will change lives, yours and those of your listeners. If you're ready to go beyond the metrics, embrace bold action, and unleash the life raft potential of your podcast, you're in the right space. Let's go. So I know I am here with you. This path to clarity is hard. And I'm 7 years in and I'm still on a path to clarity. But what happens is showing up every day, which is why podcasting is so stinking beautiful, is that you can show up a little bit messy, lean in some more. My biggest transformation client she came to me, she started as an essential oil person who was an affiliate with one of the big brands. Actually, she was like in the top 20, like top 20, making a huge living doing this and sharing essential oils, but she didn't feel fulfilled. So we built out a podcast and she eventually started talking about some of her story, escaping a cult, working with people who had been human trafficked, things like that. And all of a sudden she kept that business of the oils, but she started this second business to help people who had been through the cult, who had been through human trafficking. And I ended up working with a 501c to really help people in this situation. What happened to her was that she got clear on what really lit her up. She loved the essential oils because she was helping them feel better. She was helping them feel like their best selves, but it wasn't giving her that full fire. So this is why we want to get really clear. And today I want to share with you 3 steps that helped me get more clear on that I wanted to help you crazy, multi-passionate, whatever you want to call it, entrepreneurs, because we all have so many ideas inside. We have so many ways that we can support people. But when we muddy the waters too much, then our messages get lost and nobody comes in. Or you're like me, you muddy the water too much and you're not growing because I'm this one day. I'm a chronic pain coach. I'm a integrative nutrition coach for chronic illnesses. I'm a podcast expert. I'm a this expert and this expert. But what I found is that I really want to take a full, holistic approach to building business by taking bold, aligned actions. So as I've gone through this, I've realized that not everyone is on the same path. And that's what a lot of business coaches fail to do. And how I've dug into my clarity is that I picked all the things that I didn't like from all my coaches and courses that I've taken, and I fixed them to make them better for me as a multi-passionate entrepreneur. So what I want you to do, tip number 1 is you got to define your why. And I know you've heard this from a million coaches. Well, Jen, I've already defined my why. Have you, or is it surface level? For me, and I will get on my soapbox, this just happened, is my why is really to help people share their stories because there's so much impact. But we're making it overcomplicated to share our stories. You have to show up 50 times on this platform and throw spaghetti at this platform and be on all these social platforms. Now go to events, now have a podcast, now have a YouTube. It's exhausting. So my why is that there's seriously some stories out there that can make an impact. My why, again, I'm here on this planet because I listened to somebody's story and I didn't take an action that I was planning on taking that day, and I moved forward. So why you have to do this is, why are you creating what you're creating and wanting to share? You're an entrepreneur, you're sharing something. And most of the time, if you're just sharing it for money, it might be harder. It might be harder, but you're here because you're a heart-centered entrepreneur that wants to grow. So why? Why do you want to do this? I want to change the industry because I know how powerful podcasting and YouTubing can be. Podcasting will always be my first love. I just talked to someone yesterday and we were talking about podcast guesting and these terrible pitches we're getting, and they're building out this beautiful community to help podcasters and guests connect. And I'm like, here's some of the things that I see wrong in the industry and with pitches. If you can fix these. And I got on my soapbox. That why is so important for me. We've got to be clear. We've got to be people focused. My why is that there's so much wrong with business world of like, look at me, fantasy, look at me, fantasy, and not the truth. So we're starting to feel worse and worse about ourselves. I find, quote unquote, a lot of these big business coaches out there to be like big pharma. They don't want us to get better because then you stop needing their services. So what I want to do is I want to find what feels good to you and some sort of legacy content that allows you to move forward, taking bold actions every day. These bold actions can take 15 minutes. That's what I do in these episodes. I share 15 minutes at the end of every episode, what bold action you can take to move your podcast, your business, your life forward. Every time. So my why is I want to be different in the industry where I'm not just spitting, here's this random follow the path. I mean, there are some parts that you have to follow. I have it in my launch program. You follow step by step how to set up your software. Some of that stuff is, you got to do. But this why for me is so much more because as you're looking at your business, I want you to take the story of like, why me? Why am I different? Because that's going to help you to tip number 2, which is identifying that ideal audience. My ideal audience is the multi-passionate woman entrepreneur that has a big heartfelt message but feels lost because they're spilling out all this content all over these platforms where in 24 hours, it's no longer really a thing, is it? We want to create legacy so that you can make that tsunami of change instead of those little tiny ripples. So when you're starting to think about your person, like I really want to work with the person who does have a big mission, who knows their story's impactful, who knows that they can just get down into the nitty gritty of things and really move their businesses forward and inspire others to move forward too and rise as a collective. This to me, going back to my why, I want the person who's burnt out, who has tried things in the past, who's taken the courses, who's hired the overly expensive business coaches. I mean, this is why I created the Bold Action Collective, because I wanted to give a space where people could come in and actually get group coaching and one-on-one time with me every week. We do weekly hot seat coachings where you get 20 minutes for everybody's eyes to be on your business. I look at your business, the other members look at your business, and we give you feedback to take bold action, and you walk away with a bold action for that week. And it's only $97 a month. I never got that. But as a newer entrepreneur or a confused entrepreneur or an entrepreneur that's already spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on stuff that doesn't work, I wanted to create a space where people could come in. So my ideal audience needs that support, wants that community, but doesn't want to spend the thousands of dollars to work with some crazy coach that's probably lying to you anyways. Sorry, a little bitter, but that's okay. That's okay. And as you've created this, now you've defined your why, you know who you want to support. Now, tip number 3 is find that, unique selling point. And I know you've heard all these things before, but it takes that one person telling you how to do it differently. So really identify what it is that you want, who it is that you want to serve, and how can you serve them in a different way. For me, again, I can talk to you through my story is I have a master's degree in marketing. I have minors in visual communication and graphics. I'm also a certified pilot. I don't know if you know that. I have all of these other skills. I'm certified in NLP, EFT. I have a nutrition certification. I have all these different certifications, the mind, body. And what I really wanted to do was create a holistic approach to business through legacy content. Yes, I still show up. And at some points, I do feel that social media is a great asset for you. It's a free marketing. Hello. We like free over here. We like the ways to make a bigger impact. But I think that What makes me different is I take a holistic approach. What is actually working for you? What has worked for you in the past? What are you doing? Like, what do you really like to do? What really irks you? What really fires you up? Like, it really fires me up that I get 30 to 40 pitches a week that are terrible in my inbox to be on my podcast. And like, you didn't even look, you just sent out a blanket template. This like gets me on fire. And what makes me different is that I'm doing something about it. So I'm teaching my people. When I have conversations with people like I did the other day who are building out these communities where podcast guests and podcast hosts connect, I'm like, hey, here's what you need to teach differently. Here's the problem in the industry, because I don't have the time to take it on alone. So I'm collaborating with other people to make a bigger movement. This is how we create those tsunamis. So I want you to identify like your education. We often look past all the things we've done, whether that's education, that's coaching, that's life lessons. Maybe it's anything. Have you overcome something? I've overcome multiple chronic illnesses. I still struggle with them and I show up. I have overcome a lot of different things. I've overcome abuse. I was in an abusive marriage for 16 years where I didn't even know the harm that was being done. I've overcome that. I've overcome accidentally working with cult leaders, accidentally being around a bunch of narcissists that beat me down. But what happened is I've always come back. I've always come back and I come back and I come back and I come back. So my USP, so my unique selling point is that I look at you as a holistic person. It's not just your business. Your business is part of you. We aren't entrepreneurs because we are somebody else's pawns. It's part of our bodies. It's part of our minds. It's part of our being. Our business is something that we have birthed. It's our child. It's our baby. It's whatever you want to call it. It's a piece of you. So we can't just look at all these strategies of like post all these places. That might not work for you. You also might want to be somebody who wants to make an impact and a change in the world. And to do that, you really need to just show up as you and understand how powerful you are. I'm just wrapping up the cash habits with Jessica Mystic. She's flipping amazing. 10 days. She does these all the time. Highly recommend it. And I thought I was going to be setting up consistent sales for the next 10 days. What I realized and what her unique selling point is she brings you in to create cash habits. But what she really does is rewire your brain to figure out what's holding you back from actually showing up. And holy crap, there was a lot. Her unique selling position is that she has this ability to take, like me, a multi-passionate brain, because every coach needs a coach, every therapist needs a therapist, every doctor needs a doctor, everyone needs someone else. You can't do it all for yourself. Again, that's why I created the Bold Action Collective. That's why Jessica created the Cash Habits, because her unique selling point is to manage this chaos inside and really get to the root of why you're not showing up and selling every day. And oh my gosh, it blew my mind. Highly recommend it. I'll put her information in the show notes for you. If you want to go get some cash habits that's actually going to break your brain and you're going to realize why you're not showing up, she is great at that. But what is your unique selling position? What is that? What makes you stand apart? I love long form content. I'm a business strategist that can help you get super, super clear on what you want. You have 10 ideas. I can find a common thread in there so we can create one signature program. And then I can share with you how to use long form content and to repurpose the content where you actually have more time to coach and to be in these programs than selling. Because as a solopreneur, you are doing it all. Well, we don't want you marketing forever. We don't want you having to show up on social media endlessly until you're tired and you burn out and you don't actually have the time to coach or be in your programs. Like, that's not fun, And that's the big thing. And that's what we want to do. Like, what is your unique selling point and how can you leverage it? We're all about taking bold actions around here. Here's your 15-minute bold action for the week. I want you to set aside these 15 minutes and journal prompt these questions. I'll also put them down in the show notes for you. And why I want you to do this is I want you to get super clear on these 3 things. Tip 1, define your why. Tip 2, I want you to identify your audience, but on a different level than what you've been taught. And number 3, I want to know why you're unique. Why you? Why you and your service? Why you and your passion? Why you and your book? Why you? Here's the prompts. Define your why. I want you to write about that pivotal. I can't even say that word. Write about that moment, that experience that sparked your passion. What drives you to do what you do? Question 2, identify that ideal person that you want to talk to. We don't want to talk to an audience. We want to talk to one. And don't worry, we're not making you nail down and have a specific niche. This is flexible. As you grow your niche and your audience will probably change too. But this is right now in this time. So imagine your perfect client or listener. Who are they? What are they doing? Do you have any clients that you really like different traits? Write those down. Do you have any that you really hated and you were like, oh my goodness, I never want another client like that? Write that down. What are their biggest struggles and how can you help? For me, it's just throwing the spaghetti. It's going through all the different things. So identify who that is and what they're struggling with. And then you got to come up with that unique selling point. Like, what are your top 3 strengths? What are your achievements? And how do these set you apart from other people? For me, because I have nutrition and mental health, maybe not mental health, but we have, EFT tapping and reprogramming through NLP and all of those kind of things. Because I have that background and that holistic body approach, I can build that with my business approach. So I can look at you all as a whole being, because your business is a whole being. What is your unique selling point? How does this set you apart in the field? I double dog dare you to take this 15-minute bold action. And you can tag me, although I don't look like I show up on all the platforms. I do check the DMs on them. I do stories, and you will see me start showing up more. But you can find me at Dragonette, pretty much on every platform. So I double dog dare you to take this 15-minute bold action and actually start getting clear. Because once you get clear, those millions and millions of ideas that you have, that message that's burning inside of you, and that deep desire to make that impact goes from feeling stuck and unobtainable to something that's actually possible. And if you're struggling, come hang out with us inside the Bold Action Collective, because every week we look at your business. We make a bold action for you. We commit, we show you accountability. And again, it's relatively affordable, $97 a month. For coaching, you get me one-on-one, plus you get the eyes of all of the other peers that are in there. And no, this isn't some thousands and thousands of groups. I think we're at like 40 people. So it's a very close collective of people and women that want to rise together. You can join us at theboldactioncollective.com, or of course, everything's in the show notes. So go out, make today amazing, because you are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are worthy, and your story deserves a microphone. Now go do the thing.